I want to put the brand itself aside for a second, and I want to talk about you.
Yeah.
Okay. I've seen a lot of interviews online with different magazines, different publications, whether you are talking about amplifiers, preamplifiers, or new releases, but I have seen very little about you. Seen very little, no, not many questions about you. And one of the questions I want to know is, and I think my viewers would like to know is, tell them what you did for a living before you got into audio.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I used to be long story short, because I have had like a pretty colorful career since I left my parents' house. I started out working as a kindergarten teacher.
Wow.
For the whole, the very small ones, and I did that for numerous years. Then I decided to go into university and become a school teacher.
Okay.
So it takes like 4.5 years, 5 years to become a school teacher. And for 12 years in a row, I worked at a private school. Where
Wow.
I was a teacher in history, social science, mathematics, and art. And I did that, for 12 years, which was phenomenal, and it was for the older students. So between the age of 13, 14 up till like 17 years of age.
Okay.
So just pre-high school.
Yep.
Mainly. And it was a super job. I loved it every day.
Nice.
And it was not because I wanted to, step outside of the school job and not doing that I decided to step into audio. It's just by a coincidence, or maybe you are in the right spot at the right time.
Yes.
And you're given an opportunity. But being a teacher was a huge thing for me. I think I was a teacher with the same passion and the same love of what I did as I have working with Gryphon.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the same.
Right.
That you prep every day, so you don't just use the same stuff year after year after year, because the world changes constantly. New stuff is going on, and kids, they're changing over time. So
Right.
so when a new generation is coming in, you need to have some new stuff
Sure,
to talk
yeah.
about. And I really like that. But at the same time, I had a small hi-fi shop on the side.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I was passionate about music
Right.
and hi-fi my entire life. My entire life. I was 15, 16 years old, I think, when I ran a credit at the biggest hi-fi retailer in Scandinavia. That was the time when the new Pioneer stable platter mechanism CD player came out, where you have the reversed CD.
Right.
And it was just like, shit. And I was standing in the shop, and I wanted that piece. I couldn't afford it. So the owner, he said, okay, Rune, give me the money you have. I'll write your parents a note that you will come and give me money when you have something to spare. and bringing home, already running a credit. I was 16 years old. It's crazy. So I stayed with that dealer for years, and the credit line just became bigger and bigger.
Wow, look at that.
That was how I came, into it. But yeah. So later on, I got into the hi-fi business, and I established a business called Flex Audio.
Okay.
And I was representing brands like Nordos Cables.
I know you were there for a while.
Yeah.
I remember.
I represented Rido, and I had Clear Audio turntables. I had Audio Valve from Germany.
Oh, wow.
Different kind of brands. I had some Chinese brands as well, Singduck. And it was a cool thing to do. One day, I was asked, I think it was, it was Rido and Nordos, they asked me to do presentations at CES and in Las Vegas, when it was really good. Still,
Yeah.
still good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And also at Munich High End, and I did that for rider speakers, and then Mr. Joe Reynolds, who owns Nordest, it was back, I think it was 2011 or maybe 2012. He asked me to join him for a cup of tea at Safarino at the Venetian Hotel, and we sat down, and he said, we really want you on the team.
Wow.
What will it take? And I was just like, oh shit, I don't know, because I was not prepared for that. I was newly divorced,
Got it.
and we had to figure out with the kids and flexibility and so on.
Sure.
So, but I had a good chat with my ex-wife, and she said, "Go for it. It's what you want to do." So I remember when I flew back to Denmark from that year at CS, making my resignation to the school. I did that in a bar I think it was in Minneapolis. We had a layover, and I was sitting in a bar, and I wrote my resignation to the school after 12 years, and never looked back. And then I worked 3 years with Nordest.
And now here you are with Gryphon Audio, and I know you're traveling all over the world. You just came from the audio show in Mexico, correct? Where you were a guest speaker, I believe it is, that you were doing. So I didn't even know Mexico was having an audio show. You guys didn't invite me at all. How come I didn't get an invitation?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm calling you out. Who's in charge over there in Mexico? I want to pivot at this time and talk about the Gryphon 333 integrated. An integrated that I've been asked a lot through my consultation service. If you do not know what my consultation service is, go to my website, jaysaudiolab.com, and you'll know what service is it that I'm talking about. Many of you have inquired about the 333, wanting to know my opinion, wanting to know when I'm going to get it. He's going to answer the question, am I going to be getting a 333 integrated for an evaluation?
Oh yeah, very soon. Very soon. But it takes time. It still takes time.
Okay.
As I told you, it has been a very complex process starting up this, because it is not a revamp of the Diablo 300.
And I'm glad
it's
you're...
a whole new design.
Tell us a little more about that, just so that people understand what makes the 333 special, what's so good about it.
The transformer is significantly larger than the 300. It's not just a tiny bit. It's a lot larger. And then we have introduced the same transistors as we're using.
On the Apex?
On the Apex.
The same transistors?
Same transistors on the output. And new pre-drivers. We have developed a whole new layout of the circuit board. We have introduced a brand new phono stage, which I adore.
Nice.
True dual mono, fully balanced, and the same with the new DAC for it.
Okay.
Yes, so there is a new DAC as well. But the phono stage for me in the 333 is just, it's so good. And then we have decided to be very puristic around the phono stage.
Okay.
So it's only with XLR inputs.
Only XLR inputs?
Yeah, no RCA.
No RCA.
The cartridge is fully balanced.
I know, a lot, all your products actually are. I don't think you have any preamplifier with RCAs, right?
There are RCAs, but if you want to have the full Monty,
I agree.
You go the XLR.
All your amps, I've never seen it unbalanced on your amplifiers, ever.
None of the power amps.
Yes, I've seen never.
No RCAs. Because it would actually diminish the performance. It is true dual mono. It is pure Class A, and furthermore, it becomes easier to have long runs of interconnects when it's XLR. And there is a certain limitation if you're running RCA, no doubt, because of the signal loss.
Got it.
And the voltage loss.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and what else to say with the 333? It has been tuned in a little bit different way, because it has been tuned with the same spike topology as being used on Apex.
Wow.
We are using the same type of binding posts.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Or robust binding posts,
Yeah.
I should say. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's no longer acrylic display. It's a glass display.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 4.3 TF. So it has changed a lot,
Okay.
and it has gained a lot of weight.
How much heavier is it?
It is more than 14 kilos
It's about
heavier.
about 30, 32 pounds
Yeah,
heavier.
30. Yeah.
Okay, so that's pretty significant.
It's
That's a
sig-
significant. No, that's really telling of what else went in it.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm pretty excited to hear this 333 integrated. We are shooting this on December 7th, I believe, right? Today. So do the math. He said it's going to take about 2 weeks from right now, from today, before they start shipping out. So I'm assuming they're aiming for the end of December, probably first week of January, before you start shipping out product, correct?
Yeah.
So once they start shipping out, make sure you visit your Gryphon dealers. Make sure you get a private evaluation of this integrated. One thing I will say about integrated is the fact that integrateds have a lot of bang for the buck. When they're designed properly, they will make you oftentimes question the need for separates. Now, I'm not going to say they're going to be better than separates, but they can definitely make you question the need for separates.
Yeah.
A well-designed integrated will make you sit down and be like, do I need to have another 30 grand in separates? Because this integrated is probably 90% of the immediate siblings. I'm not talking about the siblings that are really high up there that are separates. I'm talking about those that follow that integrated from a price standpoint. Okay, so keep that in mind. So I am a big fan of integrateds. I haven't had the time to share a lot of my trials and errors with integrateds, but I can tell you that every time I've had one here and I've had a moment to play with it, place it on the right stand to isolate it. Great power cord.
Yeah.
If it has a DAC, a good Ethernet cable, good speaker cables, you can get serious performance when done properly. Okay.
Yeah, and I think with the new 333, and I've actually been a little bit afraid of saying it because
Please share it with my audience. My audience, share it here.
That I think for the first time ever that we have created an A/B topology,
Okay.
getting this close to the Class A sound.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And that's why we discussed earlier today, and you asked me, oh, how much, is it this and that much better, and so on. But it is a significantly step up in performance from the 300, even though I love the 300, I have it at home. So, but it is a different thing, and it also makes us think about at the headquarters, how far can we take that topology in terms of performance? Mm-hmm. Because we all know, or we know at Gryphon, or we think that the true dual mono pure Class A is the thing.
Yes.
But we will not be so vain or arrogant saying that one day there might be a different technology that will outperform
Class A.
Mm-hmm. And then we will, of course, go in that direction. No doubt, because we are a high-performance ultra-lux brand.
No doubt, yeah. That's definitely
that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's not just okay, we want to maintain our integrity and stick to our core value also 50 years from now. If Class A isn't the best, then we will make the swap.
Well, you've heard it from the man himself, Rune from Gryphon Audio. It has been a pleasure having you here in my room.
Thank you.
Anytime you are in South Florida, please let me know. Come by. We can listen to the turntable again, my DAC, of course, Gryphon Electronics, and sit down and talk, about anything and everything. So thank you for sharing a little more about you, because I wanted to make sure the crowd, my audience, knew a little more about your beginnings I think that's very important. And just to have a very nice, friendly relationship and see what the future holds.
Definitely.
But I do look forward to seeing you at Capital Audio Fest, and I better see an Apex playing music there, because I know I'm going to get it from all of my 22,000 subscribers. If that
They will
doesn't
be
happen.
on your back.
They will
if
be on
not
my back,
having-
so I'm going to hold them to it. All right, guys, that's all I
A
got.
pleasure.
Thank you for your time. I will talk to you soon. Subscribe. Peace.